Welcome to Cooking with Jimmy. Today we're going to be making homemade Wagyu Ribeye steak. So I want you to focus in on the marbling because if you look at it, this is why Wagyu steak is so good. Wagyu essentially means Asian cow. And we're going to have some spices with this. So you're going to have your fresh rosemary from the garden. You're going to have your Montreal steak seasoning, some parsley, and garlic powder. We're also going to be making some sides with that. So you have the broccoli florets, and I'm going to be making home fried potatoes. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut a piece of fat off of the steak directly. The reason I'm doing this is because you want to render the fat with the butter as you cook it in the frying pan, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later. So there you go. It's a piece of the fat. We'll be using that later. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put this aside. And we're going to be cutting our potato. All we need to do is a half. I just want to demonstrate the slicing of the potato real quick. And I'll do like 3 slices so you can see what it looks like. And I'll put it there. So uniform cuts just like that because we're going to fry these off. That's going to be one of our sides. Real easy. Broccoli florets. We've done this many times in other videos. So once you cut the little piece off, all you got to do is break each one off individually. And there you go. All done. Alright, now we're going to move on over to the preparation station. This is going to be our Wagyu steak, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you what we're supposed to do with it. First of all, we're going to render the fat. Now remember that piece of fat I cut off earlier? We're going to use that. Boom. Then we're going to throw in a little piece of butter. There we go. Run that on in there. I also threw in a little bit of olive oil in there as well. So along with the fat being rendered, a little bit of butter, you just want to move everything over. So get that piece of fat and get all the corners. There we go. And everything else. Let that sit for a few. Alright. So here we're going to prepare our Wagyu steak. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of parsley. You don't have to put too much stuff on it initially. Montreal steak seasoning. The rosemary goes on as we're cooking in the pan. So basically you just want to get a good rub on all the edges as well. Flip that bad boy over. And repeat process. Garlic powder. So Wagyu is packed with flavor. So you don't have to put too much. Just want to cover the bases of it, you know? And it's going to come out so flavorful. Okay. It's everywhere. Alright. Let's go ahead and situate right here. Okay. Now we're ready to put in our steak. And we're going to move in for a close-up. So you can see everything. So we're just going to let that sit for 3 minutes on each side. And don't forget, we're going to have to hit the corners as well, so you want to cook that fat off. Alright, now the steak has been cooking for about 3 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and get the sides like I was talking about earlier. So here we go. Just going to pick it up, grab it right there. So we're just going to sear the sides. And you want to cook that fat off because nobody wants to eat fat that's not cooked. It's just nasty. Alright. So this takes about 30 seconds on each side. I can close it off pretty good. We'll go ahead and do the rest. This is what it looks like, guys, if you cook it correctly on this side, on each side. See how that fat looks? It's cooked off, that's why. Alright, do the same thing on this side. Repeat. 30 seconds. Alright, now that that's done, you want to get the very end piece. All sides, guys. All sides. Same thing, all sides. Okay. Now we can go ahead and lay it down. Alright, so we're going to add the rest of our butter. Alright. Go ahead and put another little piece of that fat that we used earlier to get more flavor. I'm going to throw in a tiny bit more of the Montreal steak seasoning and garlic. Not too much. Alright. A little bit of Hawaiian black salt. Not too much. And pepper. Alright. Now it is just about time for our rosemary, but before we do that, let's go ahead and make sure that butter is all over the place. Yes. Okay. Right. So you have your rosemary, just break it up into pieces. This is very potent, guys, so use it wisely. You don't want to put too much or too little. Okay. There you go. Alright, you're going to let that go ahead and sit for another 3 minutes on each side and you'll be good to go. Alright, so now that this has been cooking for a little bit, we got about another minute on that. So now I'm going to drop the home fried potatoes so you can see. And put that down until golden brown. Alright. So we'll just let those sit and those will be done in a few minutes. Now I'm ready to go ahead and take a look at how our steak is looking. Let's take a look. Right there, and we'll just pick it up. Oh yeah, that's really good. I just want to sear the rest of the sides like I was talking about. Get everything nice and ready to go. Alright. And then I'm just going to let it sit for a couple, not even a couple minutes, another minute. Okay, so now the steak is pretty much done, but I still want to baste it, so I'm just going to add a little bit of wine. Alright. Get that spread in there really good. Alright, that's pretty good right in there. We're going to go ahead and baste it. We get all that fresh rosemary and everything else. Alright, let that sit for a couple seconds. That is looking amazing, guys. Alright. Alright, we're going to continue basting. This is about to come off. I'm going to take it off the fire. That's ready to go. And here is your home fried potatoes. Lay them each down. Boom. Alright, just like that. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move this on to our plating and presentation. Bowl on over here. Alright, so we'll move these to the side for a quick second. That way we can cut this steak on out. There we go. Alright. This is going to slice through just like butter. Let's see what we're working with. Look at that initial cut. This is about a medium. Alright, I'm just going to do a few little pieces so I can show you how we're going to lay it on this bed here. This is a quick garnish. About 4 to 5 pieces. Alright. A little bit of broccoli on the sides. Why not one more right there, just for good measure. Okay, some parsley. And there you have it, Wagyu Ribeye Steak, cooking with Jimmy.